So, Stone Cold Steve Austin is on the cover. How did he influence the new game?
So Stone Cold Steve Austin has a very big role in the game this year. Some of these things are still to be announced, right? But the thing about Steve is we're very happy to have him as our cover star this year. You call him a cover star. He really is a cover legend, cover icon. He's the most popular star in the history of WWE. And he's always a pleasure to work with for our team as well. The fans all love him. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, you know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is, right? So it's almost like if like Michael Jordan being on the cover of NBA years ago, right? It's taking the most beloved star ever and really rallying around him, but also supporting him with a lot of the current talent as well. Daniel Bryan is here today at Gamescom as well. It's just a couple doors down. We definitely want to make sure that the current fan base and the stars that are currently on TV, that everyone's well represented as well in the project. But yeah, very happy to have him as part of the project. You've seen him in a couple trailers already, and there's still a lot more to come and a lot more information about his role in the game.
The last game got quite a bit of critics. So what did you change in 2K16?
Yeah, so we got a lot of feedback from our consumers, community, from the media, right? So we saw the feedback just like everybody else. We also did our own research to find out what people really liked, what they didn't like as much. And that's how a lot of the decisions were made for 2K16. So a few things, right? Roster is the biggest one we've ever had in a WWE video game. That came from research, which told us that fans just like to play with as many different unique characters as possible. And also from some of the feedback to 2K15's roster. So the team wanted to make sure that the roster was over-delivered upon this year. So 120, almost double as many as last year's on the disc. Biggest names that you would expect in the current roster, but some surprises as well. But the stars of WWE, present and the future, will all be featured in this game. So a lot of exciting roster reveal content coming soon.
So we might expect WCW or ECW stars there?
I think when the roster is revealed, people are going to be very happy with who's on it. If you look at the people on the wall, you've got Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Carried the Attitude Era, but he's surrounded by Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins, who are current headliners, and then you have Paige and Finn Balor. Finn Balor is a guy who has been known all around the world for a long time as Prince Devitt. He's now part of WWE as Finn Balor. He has not stepped foot into a WWE ring. NXT he has been a WWE one, but he is on the wall representing the future of the business along with guys like Steve Austin. So it's a good mix. Yeah.
What improvements might we expect from the My Career mode?
So My Career is another example of listening to the feedback from the fans. So last year was the first year, right? It's a process. So last year, the team was able to build out a great foundation for My Career. It's the most popular game mode every year in NBA. We want to be able to bring that over to WWE and get it up to the same level of excellence. So last year you were able to go through the journey, right? Performance Center, NXT, to the main roster. This year you'll be able to continue that, of course, and have the chance to become a legendary WWE Hall of Famer. But also a lot of focus was put on adding all the things that people really love about WWE. Right, so a lot more twists and turns of storyline, more ability to build your character, adding personality to the mode, right? So post-match interviews, run-ins, interference, all those kind of things that people love about TV, right? So that's being added to add more color and make that career mode a lot more fun than it was last year. So that's definitely another piece of feedback that the team has taken to heart.
So our character might have a great career mode. What about the Stone Cold Steve Austin mode in some kind of way?
Yeah, well, so career mode, obviously you pick a character that you create and you start him from the very beginning and then take him all the way through the journey, right? So you can do a lot of different things like universe mode also, right, where you can take a lot of the current talent or the guys who are on the roster from other eras, and you can have them go through a WWE schedule as well. I think anything that would deal with or let people experience Steve Austin's career would be awesome. Yeah.
How do you ensure that, let's say, Andre the Giant won't play just like Big Show or anything else? What kind of individuality will these stars have?
So, I mean, that's one of the biggest things this year for the team was making sure that these guys all have individual personalities and that they're all their own character, right? So that a guy like you mentioned, Big Show, could be different from Stone Cold Steve Austin, or when you look at the video, like a guy like Finn Balor, right? Brand new character, but there's things about him that make him Finn Balor versus an independent wrestler from Ireland, right? It's all those elements. So it's his gear, his face paint, that demon persona that he adopts, the way he crawls to the ring, the music. When you look at his entrance alone, you see digital LEDs all across the arena, just like you would see on Raw or on WWE. So around the bowl, side of the ring apron, side of the ramp, on the ramp, Titantron, light effects, smoke, all those different things make that character, right? So if you take all that time and care the team has put into making that one entrance, and then you think about that across 120 characters, right? There's a lot of work that goes into making these guys truly individual and close to their personas.
What about the grappling system? We heard about some quite improvements there.
Yeah, so overall the core wrestling gameplay is a lot better this year. Again, it's building off a great first year. Last year, basically had to build a new engine, right, with the transition to the new consoles in 2K15. So this year we're building on top of that. So a lot of improvements in terms of the fluidity of the actual wrestling. Better reversal system has been put in this year. There's been new pin systems put in. The way that submission holds work is definitely an improvement, because before, you put a submission hold on and you're wearing down your opponent, but that's it. Like now, when you do that, you're also regaining your own stamina, which is how it's actually done in WWE, right? The guys will put on holds, and it's also a way for them, to take a breather, right? So it's a lot more it's a lot more fun way of regaining your stamina than walking around the ring hoping that you don't get hit, right? So it's I think that's actually going to be a pretty big game changer.
That's a giant change to 2K15. But with 2K15, there were quite some critics and some players, well, they stopped playing. How do you get all those people who played Shut Your Mouth or whatever now back to 2K16?
Well, I think there's a lot of things, right? From all the way from that era, games have come a very, very long way. But if you look at a character like Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? His heyday was quite a while ago now, right? But everyone who watched programming back then, watched a lot of it because of Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? So that initially gets a lot of that older, lapsed fan back. You also have all the current guys, in the game as well. So you have a little something for everybody there to get the biggest, possible audience for the game. If people have stopped playing the last year or two, I think there's a lot of things that we're adding to the game to get them back. Like you said, the core wrestling in the game, the gameplay itself is significantly improved over even last year or even the year before that. You can see the big differences every year. Things that have been worked on also are like the commentary system in the game, right? It's been improved drastically. You've got 3 announcers now also. You've got JBL, Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler. Some other announcements to be made soon about the overall commentary in the game. You have the showcase mode, which is great for any lapsed WWE consumer. It's probably my favorite mode every year. That's the one where you go back and relive a story arc from a given time period in WWE history, right? So last year was 2 great rivalries that you could play through. The year before that, it was 30 years of WrestleMania. But that's a great mode to get some of our lapsed fans back.
So what would your favorite match on SummerSlam 215 be?
SummerSlam 20, for this upcoming one?
Yes.
Oh, I'm Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. It's a rare combination that you don't get that often, right? Because it means more now than before too. Because Brock Lesnar in the last year and a half has become a special attraction that hasn't really been seen in a very long time in WWE. And he's just a whole different animal from everybody else. And then you've got The Undertaker, who, you know, is the greatest character WWE has ever created, right? Who last year at WrestleMania looked great. You know, he looked like he had a few more left if he wanted to. So it's two giant personalities and characters that are, you know, once in a lifetime in the ring, and it's going to be electric. Barclays Center, you know, that arena I believe is sold out 3 nights in a row between Raw, SummerSlam, and NXT. So the atmosphere in that building is going to be amazing.
And you would cheer for who?
I love watching Brock Lesnar more than anybody these days because he conveys something that nobody else does, right? And he has, you know, his background that is a big part of that. And they've done a great job of really making him a special deal. The Undertaker also, though, is, you know, just like everybody loves Stone Cold Steve Austin, everybody loves The Undertaker. I mean, I was 8 years old when The Undertaker made his debut in 1990 in WWE, right? So all these years later, he's still on top when he does his matches, and it is a whole different character from anybody else when you're in an arena and Undertaker comes out. Yeah, so it's a toss-up. I think I'd have to. You want someone to have a decisive win, but it's a hard one to call. Yeah.
What do you think about the time of The Undertaker riding a bike and now returning to the Walking Dead man?
Oh, I mean, I like the classic Undertaker, right? I mean, the character has gone through a lot of different stages and evolutions, but I think it's been 10 years now since he's been the biker taker, and I definitely like the current persona.
What would you say? Cena go or Cena sucks?
I respect John Cena more than probably any guy on the roster. John Cena was a big part of the campaign last year from 2K15, and the thing you see about Cena is people will cheer John, people will boo John, everybody respects John. And you look at, like, he's carried this company for 10 years, right? And you look at his matches now, the stretch he's been on since WrestleMania is a very defining one for his career, because you can't watch any of those matches and people say, oh yeah, you can't wrestle. And nobody can watch those matches and say he can't wrestle. He's probably the best in-ring wrestler this entire year in WWE, right? So it's a really cool thing to watch. And yeah, I mean, I definitely respect John Cena, and I think he's a star that does not come along very often.
Any last words for our viewers?
Yeah, we're just happy that you guys were able to preview WWE 2K16. The feedback's been great from what we can tell, and yeah, we're just really excited for people to be able to get their hands on it. It comes out in October, and of course, it's a big pre-order offer this year. If you pre-order, you get to play as Arnold Schwarzenegger, 2 different versions of the Terminator, T1 and T2, in the middle of a WWE ring. So that should be a pretty cool offer for people. And yeah, if people picked up 2K15, everyone has definitely heard the feedback, and it's been building off of last year for this year's product.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.